Once again, good day everyone. I am Mary J. Balayan. Together with me are Giselle Bagarinaw, Castro Maria Jamaica, and Duterte Jondi. We are here to present our research with the title Self-Learning Modules of Grade 5 Pupils in Science and Academic Performance in New Normal Education. Here is a rationale. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, educational setting changed from traditional in-class setting to the use of modules or SLM designed by DepEd to continue children's learning. A disadvantage to modular learning is pupils are struggling to keep up with the demands. With the current setup of education, the possibility that pupils will learn effectively is low, especially in the science subject. Teaching and learning science is difficult in the absence of professional guide and science equipment. Given these challenges for pupils, the researchers wanted to determine the relationship between self-learning modules of grade 5 science and their academic performance in the new normal.
A pleasant day to you all, especially to our dear panelists. Before I proceed, let me first introduce myself. Well, I am Jandy Avenido III, a B.Ed third-year student. Alright, moving on, let's get started. To express our views in a clearer manner, we created conceptual and theoretical framework that will focus to the main goal and other related theory that will be used to support our study. Different theories were used to visualize the objective of the study. The first theory that had selected is Knowles' theory of andragogy. Specifically, the proponent of this theory is Malcolm Knowles. This theory refers to any adult learning styles. With the help of self-learning, he believed that adults are self-directed and are expected to take responsibility for their actions and that they can learn on their own with self-concept and motivation to learn. He expected that adults are self-directed, independent, and expect to be in charge of their own actions. The second theory that will be used to support the study is the self-directed theory that was developed by scientific writer namely Herbert Garrison. Learn on one's own is the central theme of self-directed learning theory, wherein learners are responsible for their own way of learning and knowledge with evaluating themselves. This theory is all about method of instruction in which students are encouraged to take personal responsibility and joint control of cognitive or self-monitoring and contextual or self-management. The last and the third theory is the self-determination theory that was developed by Richard Ryan and Edward Vesey. With the self-learning education system, learners are making choices without any external influence and interference or from their peers and teachers that is making them more responsible. The theory examines the human tendency to grow in a positive way and identifies three core needs that help with that progress. Autonomy, competence, and relatedness are the three needs. If we focus to the three supporting theory, the main goal of this are to support the argument or research about self-learning or modular learning. When students take charge of self-learning, they can develop a wide range of skills. Self-learning is a vital talent for students to develop individuality as they advance through school and into adulthood, since it allows them to develop independence and the ability to progress without relying to others. Researchers also considered related article or law that will be also used as a basis for the study. The following law that are suited for the research are Republic Act No. 10533, also known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, and DepEd Order No. 018 Series of 2020, or commonly known as Policy Guidelines for the Provision of Learning Resources in the Implementation of the Basic Education Continuity Plan, Also, added to the list is the DepEd Order number 001 series of 2021 or the guidelines on the evaluation of self-learning modules for quarters 3 and 4 for school year 2020-2021. The following concept or law are selected because of their prior relation to the research matter. First is the RA 10533 that mandates education shall continue even though we are facing the onslaught of pandemic. Second is the DepEd Order number 018 series of 2020 that clarifies that student must use learning module to learn in a distance learning. Modules serve as the instrument of school to address the prior needs of the student. And also, the grading system in the distance learnings were also being discussed in the DepEd Order number 001 series of 2021 where pass and fail system used to describe the performance of all the students. Now that we are familiar with the different theory and legal basis in research, we will now discuss the conceptual framework or the overall plan of the research. It is divided into three parts. First, the input or the self-learning modules in science and academic performance of grade 5 pupils. In this area, the main agenda of the researcher is to show and to know the relationship of these two variables. Second is the process of the research where we collect the needed data and information using the research instrument, tools, and statistical treatment which is better explained in the research methodology part of the study. And lastly is the output. It is important to create an action plan or recommendations after knowing the result of the research or the study. The researchers decided to design this kind of framework and able to have a clear path in constructing the research. Thank you.
Once again, good morning everyone. I am Giselle Bagarino and here is our statement of the problem. The main purpose of the study is to determine the relationship between self-learning modules in science and academic performance of grade 5 pupils of Bongbong Elementary School for school year 2020 to 2021. Specifically, this study seeks to answer the following questions. 1. What is the perception of grade 5 pupils in science self-learning modules in terms of lesson objectives, lesson presentation, visual representation, and performance tasks? 2. What is the academic performance of the pupils in science self-learning modules? 3. Is there a significant relationship between pupils' perception in using self-learning modules in science and pupils' academic performance? 4. What action plan can be proposed based on the results of the study?
Hello everyone, I am Maria Jamaica L. Castro, and now let's proceed to the research methodology. Research design is descriptive, correlational. Environment: Bongbong Elementary School, Purok 7, Bongbong Trinidad, Bohol. Participants: 26 grade 5 pupils, school year 2020 to 2021 of Bongbong Elementary School. Instrument: a 4-part checklist survey questionnaire is purposely modified by the researchers for this study. Items of the questionnaire are tailored from different sources. From Bernard et al. 2008, Students' Perceptions of Science Classes in the Philippines, and Kaya O.N. et al. 2004, University Students' Perceptions of their Science Classroom. For the procedure, first, the researchers will obtain permission from the school administration to conduct this research. Next, the researchers will conduct pilot testing for item analysis for the acceptance and rejection of each question. After, the distribution of the survey questionnaire checklist to the participants during the distribution of modules. Then, the participants will answer the survey checklist and the researchers will ask from the teacher the participants Form 138 for their average grade in science. Finally, the researchers can draw out the conclusions and the aim of the study will be achieved. For the statistical treatment, first, to determine the perception of pupils regarding self-learning modules in science, the researchers will utilize the weighted mean. Next, to determine the academic performance of pupils, the researchers will use the arithmetic mean. And to determine the relationship between pupils' perception in using self-learning modules in science and pupils' academic performance, the researchers will utilize the person-product moment correlation coefficient. Definition of terms. Academic performance. The outcome of student learning excellence in the distance learning education. It is the result from the self-learning module. New normal. A current situation in education that is different from what has been experienced or done before but is expected to become usual or typical in an education setup. Science. A universal subject that studies the world and its phenomena through systematic and logical methodology to pursue knowledge and facts. Self-learning modules. Pupils' learning materials in the new normal education. And these are the references. So, the Group 1 researchers humbly believed in the saying, "It always seems impossible until it's done," by Nelson Mandela. Our dear panelists, we are now ready to accept your comments, suggestions, recommendations.